It's been a little while since I spoke about the Nintendo Switch, but I feel like it's time, you know? Especially since we have a rather interesting potential leak for you today. I also have some original Xbox backwards compatibility stuff to throw to the mix for a bit of flavour in our combo platter. So let's get started, shall we? My name's Amata, and in this Red Gaming Tech video we're going to kick things off with the Nintendo Switch, as a rather interesting leak has surfaced on NeoGAF. This is documents relating to the SDK for the Switch. Now, given the source, we should take this with a rather hefty pinch of salt as always, but if these are proven legitimate, there could be some very interesting updates en route for the console. Obviously, it's been known for some time now, and this hasn't really changed since the console came out, that the Switch would not let you transfer save files from one Switch to another. And Nintendo has acknowledged players' requests for this cloud save feature, but they haven't actually gone so far as to promise that they will be working on a solution, just that they hear people's requests. But it seems that they might have something in the pipeline for this if the SDK is indeed correct and legitimate. It reads, quote, "In the future we plan to provide a feature to transfer account save data among multiple consoles. As a result, there is a possibility that user accounts with uninitialized account save data will be added. Note that your design must work without issue even in this case." But the SDK does not stop there. Apparently, guest logins are also going to be something being added, or at least being considered to be added. They said, quote, "We are considering a feature in the future, tentative name guest login, to access existing network service account information without linking a user account. This feature would allow temporary access to the network service account linked to the Nintendo account by logging into the Nintendo account within the application. This feature would, for example, make it possible to upload a character you have raised as online data and use that data on a friend's Switch without creating a user account. We do not plan on providing this feature for the NX launch." So to put that in less jargony terms, you take your Smash or your Mario Kart, save data, your win records, that sort of thing, with you to your friend's house, you play a few games with them, and obviously when you get back home, it's all synced up and shows the results of the new races that you played with your friend. Fairly useful, as would the ability to transfer save files between Switches and a bunch of other stuff that we talked about here. Now, we did recently get some comments from Reggie as soon as a couple of weeks ago that do kind of throw a bit of a black cloud over this rather interesting parade, and he said, quote, "I can't say there's a solution coming, but we do hear the message." Now note that he doesn't say we aren't working on a solution, just so that he can't say there's a solution coming. So it doesn't necessarily 100% say, well, that's it boys, pack it up, you know, we've 100% debunked this. It just does cast some doubt on it. But it could also be argued that he's saying, you know, he doesn't want to commit to saying that there's a solution en route in case these ideas that they're working on don't work out. You know, from how the SDK reads, these were obviously planned and written before the console actually released. So obviously a lot can change in that time. It's only been a few months, but obviously it still is quite a long time in gaming terms. So I would peg it to he didn't want to commit to any changes that may or may not come up, especially in the form that they're discussed here. But I think both of these features could actually be really, really nice for the Switch and improve the console quite a bit. To be honest, I think both of these features are pretty much required to help with the longevity of the console. You know, not that the console's going to die a death tomorrow without them. That's a bit, you know, hyperbolic and silly. But I feel like it would definitely add to the console's lifespan if, you know, I know that I could take my co-op game over to my friend's house, and all the progress that we made, and whatever that co-op game happens to be, can then just be transferred back to my account either through save files or through guest logins and syncing, that sort of thing. I feel like, you know, it's just a bit more of a quality of life thing, and Nintendo is pretty big on quality of life stuff, so this would actually make sense, I think, for the Switch to have, and would add some nice sort of extra feathers to its bow, as it were. As I said though, the NeoGAF thread will be linked below. As I said, do take everything here with a pinch of salt, especially given Reggie's recent comments, but I think we can tentatively be hopeful that maybe we might get this. However, not quite done there. You may recall I mentioned something about original Xbox and backwards compatibility at the start of the video. Now, of course, the reveal from Phil Spencer at E3 that, of course, we'll be getting original backwards compatibility on the Xbox One was pretty awesome, but we have had some recent comments from Phil Spencer on Twitter which do add some wrinkles to that plan, but it's not really surprising wrinkles. It's kind of like, that's annoying but hardly surprising. And this was asked a question regarding whether or not widescreen would be supported, and he said, quote, most OG Xbox games didn't have widescreen. Can't really easily change the frame buffer aspect ratio on a shipped game from backwards compatibility. We run the OG code, so the game will support what the original game supported, and he also went on to say that we can't expect Xbox Live achievements either. Now that is very much on a case-by-case basis. He didn't say it don't 100% want to happen, don't ever expect it, it will never happen, you know, rip, basically. You know, he said we shouldn't expect it, because basically it would require patching every single classic game. So it might be down to the developer to really push for it, but I would say that most people would probably put achievements as fairly low on their priority list when, you know, updating a game so they all run on the Xbox One via backwards compatibility or whatever it is they have to do. So I wouldn't expect it too much, and to be honest, I would say achievements is kind of meh. It's a bit of a shame about widescreen though, but I'm not exactly surprised. It's a bit of an ask, to be honest, given the age of these games that we're talking about. As I said, I don't think either of these things are deal breakers. You know, widescreen is a bit of a shame, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, that's not really all that surprising, but cool. And the achievements is like completely irrelevant to me. I just don't give a toss about achievements. I know some people do, but I don't think anyone's going to be that bothered. They just want to be replaying Crimson Skies or whatever. So, you know, I don't think either of these are too big a deal. Regardless, that is me done for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, your support is highly appreciated. I'll see you next time.